This content is for educational purposes only. All examples and analysis are intended for these purposes and should not be considered as specific investment or trading advice. All hypothetical examples are for the purposes of teaching principles and are not intended to suggest future results. The risk of loss in trading securities, options, futures, and forex can be substantial. Customers must consider all relevant risk factors, including their own personal financial situation, before trading. Options, futures, and forex are considered more sophisticated investment vehicles due to high leverage and are not suitable for all investors. Any results shared should not be considered typical.
Welcome, everybody, to night 3 of the Ultimate Trading Summit. I'm so glad you're here. We have almost 60 people live at the start, which means we'll have 200 people here in the next 10 minutes. I have been so proud of you guys. You signed up and you showed up. There is a chasm between doing what you say you're going to do after actually registering for the event. And so congratulations if you're here. Congratulations if you're hearing my voice on the recording. I dare say it's almost harder to hit play on the recording than to show up live, because there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. But guess what? There's only tomorrow for about 4 more days, because all those recordings expire on Monday, unless you're a VIP member. Side note, go find one of those old links. Hopefully it's still up. I should have checked this, but VIP expires at this session. I don't know if the team set it up to expire at the beginning or the end, but VIP is about to expire. This is your last plug. If you want access to the recordings and the notebooks and all that, you should go do that. So with that said, the training's for educational purposes only, yada, yada, yada. Don't do stupid things and win stupid prizes. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how to profit with confidence and consistency. And I see the man of the hour, Alfonso Esposito, is in the house. Y'all are going to love him. This is the session on monetization. And of course, monetization is the third step in the ultimate trading formula. Analyze, strategize, monetize, and maximize. I wanted to bring some guardrails around this. So last night we started talking about how you would know if you should go out and do some study on analysis. And let me remind you of this. Take a screenshot if you missed it last night, or if you don't have access to the notebooks. If you lack confidence in forecasting the direction of a stock, so if you pull up a chart in TradingView or whatever your application is, and you're like, I got nothing, bro. It's a flip of a coin whether this thing goes up, down, or sideways. If you lack confidence in forecasting the direction of a stock, or if you have a win-loss ratio that's currently less than 70%, you must improve your analysis skills. That's where your day starts. And the 2 apprenticeships that I would guide you towards are the Foundations of Trading apprenticeship with Caden, or the Traction apprenticeship with Scott Landers. And here's the distinction between the 2. If you're brand new, you should go to Foundations. If you've got a little bit of experience under your belt, so maybe your win-loss ratio is like 60 to 68% or so, you're kind of right on that cusp, then Scott Landers is an expert at helping you get traction and achieve new levels of mastery. Okay, brand new, Foundations, a little bit of experience, Traction is the direction you should go in. That's the first step in the ultimate trading formula, analysis. The second step is strategy. And you know that you need help with strategy if your forecasting is pretty solid. So you've got a win-loss ratio that's at 70% or better, but you're still struggling to grow your $20,000 trading account by a minimum of $500 a week. So if that's you, if you've got a $20,000 trading account and you're not making $5,000 a week minimum, you've got to focus on strategy. Well, what if you've only got a $10,000 account? Great, you should be making $250 a week. Well, what if you've only got a $5,000 account? Great, you should be making, what's that work out to? $125 a week. It's all scalable. But the point is, if you've got a good win-loss ratio and you're not consistently putting cash in your jeans, then you probably have a strategy problem. And where you need to look for help is with Valerie in the Empowered Apprenticeship. She's all strategy. She's the queen of strategy, customized strategies. Or The man you're going to hear from tonight, Alfonso Esposito, hybrid would be a really good choice as well if you're looking to build that muscle of strategy. Now, I'm going to pause real quickly before I hand this over to Alfonso in just a moment. And I'm curious, with what you've learned already, where do you need to focus your attention? If you think that you need to focus on building forecasting skills, go ahead and punch a heart into the reaction tool. And if you think it's a strategy that you need, give me a thumbs up. And if you're like, bro, I need both, how about a party hat? Hearts, hearts, thumbs up. I got a party hat. Come on, let's go. All right. I'm glad you guys are getting it. Is there anybody that is totally confused and you're like, I have no idea what I need to work on? Now, I'm not saying you've maybe mastered drilling down to the specific, I need trend line help or I need moving average help or whatever, but you at least know the general direction. I'm working on building my forecasting chops. I'm working on building my strategy repertoire. Or tonight, we're going to learn about how to find the very best trades and worst trades. All right. If that's you, please reach out to Rebecca. And Rebecca will be glad to hop on a call, and she'll be able to listen to your specific situation and guide you more accurately. With that said, let's talk about where we're headed today. Today's all about profiting with confidence and consistency. And I'm going to be handing it over directly to Alfonso to talk to us about how to find the best and worst stocks. Don't you know that both of those are important? It's good to know which ones are the best trades and good to know which ones are not the best trades. Alfonso's also going to talk to us about trading on any time frame. After Alfonso wraps up that talk, I would like to take about 15 minutes or so and introduce the idea of the apprenticeships. I know a lot of you guys leave right at the top of the hour, and I want you to be able to hear about what the apprenticeship program looks like. And then for those that can stay a little bit later, we're going to circle back around and talk about how to improve your trading by 1,000%. I finally did it. I used to call this talk something else because I thought that was too sensational. And then I thought to myself today, I think today is the day. We're just going to say it like it is, my friends. And I promise you, I don't use that word lightly, but I promise you that making some small incremental changes is going to reveal to you a 1,000% improvement. Now, the opposite of that, for the pessimists in the room, God bless you. The opposite of that is if you're not keeping track of these benchmarks, it's easy to go backwards significantly. I don't know if those percentages work out the same, but significantly. With that said, I want to introduce you to my buddy, Alfonso. I call Alfonso the architect. He's the architect of success for thousands of traders. Fun fact about Alfonso, he started with Tradesmart. He started mentoring in Tradesmart way back in, I believe it was 2010. Alfonso's been here for almost as long as I have. I actually met Alfonso through his wife. Jane is a world-renowned, world-class performance coach, success coach. And I was working with Jane, and she said, hey, you need to meet my husband, Alfonso. He trades the stock market. And I was like, yeah, everybody says they trade the stock market. And I'm here to tell you, Alfonso traded the stock market. In fact, Alfonso was one of the very influential voices in my personal trades early on in my career. I was a good trader when I met Alfonso, and I became a great trader after learning how Alfonso specifically approached risk management. Now, spoiler alert, that's not what we're talking about tonight. But I trust Alfonso as one of the influential voices in my personal trading. He's an interesting blend of technical analysis and fundamental analysis. And I appreciate this about Alfonso because if you go out on the internet, there's a lot of people that throw shade at the other camp. Technical analysts don't like the fundamental analysts, and fundamental analysts don't like the technical analysts. And Alfonso's like, bro, that's stupid. Like, you all have things that you can contribute to the accuracy of my trades and the success of my portfolio. So why wouldn't I take the best from both camps? And out of that came Alfonso's apprenticeship, the hybrid apprenticeship. Another interesting thing about Alfonso, he ran a live trading room for several years, which, if you've never had the opportunity to be in that hot seat, that's a special kind of fun, as you're kind of expected to be on all day and never make a mistake. And Alfonso did that for a couple years. And now today, that kind of continues on in his apprenticeship. If you're in one of his pro level apprenticeships, then he sends out live trade ideas through the Discord server. And it's a really interesting hallmark of that hybrid apprenticeship. So with that said, would you guys light up the chat pane and also light up the screen with your emoji of choice, and introducing my friend and co-trader, Alfonso Esposito, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate that. And let me share my screen right there. And first, I want to thank Josh and Rebecca and the two Chris's, Beverly and Burgess, the two CBs, because they did all of the behind the scenes stuff to make this 4-night boot camp a reality. And also, I've been here every night, and I want all of us to give some applause to Rebecca, Caden, Valerie, and Scott for their amazing sessions. Really, really good. And it's just an honor to be able to teach alongside such great minds. Yeah, you cannot see me. I had a computer built for me and for trading, and I forgot to ask them to put a camera on it. So, but that's okay. Many of you know what I look like, or I think. Maybe Josh can throw up a picture later. Okay, and so, but now it's my turn. Like I said, I am Alfonso Esposito, and I am grateful that Josh invited me back for the 2025 apprenticeship series. Now, it says a lot when you get invited back, but you never know for sure what that means. It might be Josh just saying, let's give him one more chance to see if he gets it right. I know that that's not the case, because in all seriousness, I thought it was 2015, Josh, but could have been a little bit earlier than that. And in fact, Josh used to fly me down 3 times a year, and I would work 1 week at that time, their beautiful office that they had in Berry Hill in Nashville. And I just absolutely fell in love with Middle Tennessee. And so I kept trying to influence my family to make the leap and move down. And finally, I was able to convince them to do it in 2018. And we've been here in Brentwood, Tennessee since then. And we were able to build our dream house. I'm just going to quickly show you, because I'm just so grateful for it, that I get to wake up and trade in it every day, which is right there. And at this current moment, I am right here in this office right here. All right, so let's get to it. So I have some outcomes for you tonight. The first is that I hope that you find me to be both sincere and truthful. But I don't want you to make the mistake and say, hey, this person sounds sincere, so he must be truthful. Sincerity is not a test of truth. Sincerity is only a test of sincerity. You don't want to say he must be right because he's so sincere. Don't want to do that, because it's possible for someone to be sincerely wrong. So we can only judge truth by truth and sincerity by sincerity. But I do hope that by the end of this 20 or 25 minutes, I think Josh gave me a little bit extra time, gave me a mulligan, that you find me to be both sincere and truthful. Also, sorry, I had to run up the stairs to get here on time, so my apologies. I'm like winded. I hope you to find me to be also transparent and authentic, and to hopefully you'll find that my goal is to really focus on you and helping you monetize your learning. And I'm going to do that, at least I'm going to attempt to do that, by discussing some of the hybrid trading method and teach you through some recent trades. Now, I always hesitate whether or not I want to teach through some recent trades, but I do find that trade examples help people visualize the teaching a little bit better, because as traders, we tend to be a little bit visual, just creatures. And also, it allows you to see potentially what's possible, but also to see some mistakes, because as part of my being authentic, I just don't show you everything that I do well. I show you things that I don't do well, because I'm a human being and I don't have it all right. And if anybody ever tells you that they have it all right in trading, they're probably not telling you the truth or being authentic. So hopefully you're going to find me to be both transparent and authentic. And my outcome is to help you guys monetize your learning. So one of my favorite guys, I got to see him actually in 1999, kind of dates me a little bit. Um, I don't even know if I'm the oldest presenter. I'm not sure, but in any event, I just turned the big 5-6 in November of 2024. But Jim Rohn, I got to see him live. He unfortunately passed away in 2009, but he did say this amazing quote. I love it. It says, "You must make reasonable progress. I'm sorry, you must make measurable progress in reasonable time." And in fact, he kind of makes a joke about it. He says, "That's why they make third grade desks so small, so that you don't fit in them when we're adults." And it really kind of relates to trading as well, because trading is easy, but it's also difficult. And trading education is filled with a lot of garbage. Now, not what you get here at Tradesmart, but just in general, there's just a lot of shysters and garbage out there. So my commitment, just with everything that I do, is always to add value, and that holds true for my teaching. So let's go ahead and dive in. Type in a 1 in the chat room if you're ready to go, and we'll get into some of the content here. Thank you, honey, on my birthday wish. Appreciate that. Okay. So 2025, that's 20x our profits. Now, I know this is a fairly big, bold statement, but that's kind of my theme for 2025, is to 20x my profits, and to actually have you 20x your profits. And wherever they were when you started in 2025 compared to what they were in 2024. Doesn't matter where you start, it's kind of where you end. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on. And I truly believe that the hybrid formula I'm going to teach you a little bit about tonight will help you get to that 20x your profits. So what is hybrid trading? So it's the combination of objective, and I'm going to be harping on that a lot, fundamental analysis and what I refer to as catalysts, plus technical analysis, plus strategy, into one cohesive plan to monetize your trading. And what I refer to is all of the things that meet these criteria are called level 1 plus stocks in my book. Sorry, I had to take a drink. So before I do that, before I get to this real quick, like I said, I think that most traders are visual, and a picture paints 1,000 words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you quickly 3 level 1 plus stock charts from 2024. So you can see, without even knowing what it is, like what level 1 plus stock is, just how powerful level 1 plus stocks are and can be. So the first one, real quick, I'm going to go through these kind of swiftly, is SFM, which is Sprouts, which is my favorite store. I go there all the time. But it became a level 1 plus stock back here in February of 2024. It remained a level 1 plus stock here in May, remained it again in August, and continued, believe it or not, in November. So almost the entire year of 2024, Sprouts was a level 1 plus long stock. And you can see the stock, when it became level 1 plus, it was around 50-ish, a little bit high 50s, and at its peak almost got to 160. I mean, that is an amazing move, and you can just see how controlled it was. And even as I can't exactly remember if it was yesterday when I printed this chart, but saw trading here up near 140. So this is just a great example of a level 1 plus stock and just how powerful they can be. Another one, APP, my Lord. I never even heard of APP until August of 2024, when through my research, it became a level 1 plus stock. And my Lord, APP, I'm telling you, changed lives for some people. This stock became a level 1 plus stock here in August, when it was trading at $50, and it had just a parabolic move all the way up to 400. I mean, on the monthly chart, I kept telling my people in the apprenticeship that it looks extended, but guess what? It's probably going to get more extended. And as of, I think today it closed maybe closer to 320. I can't quite remember, but I took this picture yesterday. But just another great example of how powerful level 1 plus stocks can be. And then the last one before I start teaching a little bit is PII. This is a level 1 plus short stock, which became that in August, right here at about $80. And you can see, I don't know exactly where it closed today. I think again, this was yesterday, but somewhere around $55. So just an absolute beautiful 45-degree angle down once it became a level 1 plus short stock. So type in a 1 if you are like, wow, those are some pretty good looking stocks there. And the really great thing about that, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, is it doesn't matter if you're a day trader, a micro day trader, a bigger time frame day trader, a swing trader, a core trader, a portfolio trader. I think, in fact, I think I will slide on this, but it doesn't really matter. The hybrid strategy and trading these level 1 stocks are for any type of directional trader. Okay, so what is the game plan when it comes to hybrid trading? Well, we implement and master. What we do is we spend 80% of our time implementing and mastering and focusing on 2 key areas: objectively, not subjectively, objectively finding the best stocks to trade long and the worst stocks to trade short, which I refer to as fundamental analysis and catalysts. And then mastering the 5 fundamental truths of the market. That's where we spend 80% of our time. Now, I don't have time at all to get into the 5 fundamental truths of the market. I do have an entire class on it that I teach live in my apprenticeship, but it is something that serious traders must master and must actually have as part of their mindset, is the 5 fundamental truths of the market, or you will struggle to be consistently wildly profitable over time. So why is understanding the why so important? Well, if we can understand why a stock like APP did what it did, or Sprouts did what it did, or PII did what it did, and I can show you 50, 60, 80, 100 others. It's the fundamental analysis and these catalysts, plus in some instances, the sector. And so what this does is that it helps us build a smaller and powerful list of stocks and makes our trading more effortless and predictable. Now, when I refer to strong fundamentals, I'm talking like mostly in the recent time frame. And for catalyst, it's data that suggests that the company will be outperforming their current fundamental data in the near to intermediate future. And what this does is it indicates that there's likely going to be strong institutional interest, because, like institutions, they like to beat up wheat stocks and sell them or short them, and they like to aggressively buy really great fundamental analysis companies. How else could we explain SFM, APP, PII? I mean, there was an appetite for institutions to buy APP. And you can see the move that it went from 50 to 400 in 6 months. So let me ask you this question. How many of you are overwhelmed with scanning or the number of stocks you have available to trade? Has that ever been an issue for anybody? I don't even know how many stocks there are, if we on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, but there's so many, stocks that are available out there. So some of you are, and that's okay. But and currently I have on my list of level 1 plus stocks, 77. Now some drop off and some get added, but I still have a fairly good, manageable list from which to work with. And so once I'm clear that this is a level 1 plus stock through fundamental analysis, catalyst, and to some extent the sector that it's in, then I'm able to kind of move the needle to the next part of the formula, which is the part where we can make money. And it's now and only now that we apply our knowledge of technical analysis to guide us in executing the best objective trades in the best stocks long and the worst stocks short. So it's kind of like a little bit of a reverse, like an upside down triangle of how most retail traders are taught. And I'm not suggesting there's one better way to teach than another way to teach. But if you can kind of narrow down a list of stocks that are likely to have big institutional interest because of strong recent fundamental analysis and catalysts, and potentially in even the right sector, and then you are really talented and know about technical analysis and how to apply it on the charts, think about how much more money you can make than just trying to scan hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stocks to try to match something that meets your technical analysis. What about doing it the opposite way? Let's find the best or the worst and then apply what we know to actually make the money. Type in one if that makes sense. So I said I had a slide on it, so I'm not going to spend any time on it. But if you're a directional trader, this is going to be helpful for you. Um, now I'm going to get resistance from this next slide. I'm going to get resistance. But before I do that, I want to just mention one more thing about this slide right here, which is that I oftentimes people would say, well, aren't you like missing out on stocks that you could be trading that might be level one or level two, that don't define your level one? And the answer is, well, yes and no. And the truth of the matter is, to be transparent, is that I tried that. So in the first quarter of 2024, as we were kind of diving into exactly what was a level one plus stock, we also identified lots of level two and level three, as we refer to them, stocks. And we traded them mostly because we feared that we were going to miss out if we weren't taking, stocks that matched that the pattern matched the pattern, or the technical analysis was great, but the stock wasn't necessarily that great. And what we found after 6 weeks is that we literally lost, or it cost us, I should say, $10,000. Now, I don't know about you, but $10,000 times 4 quarters is a lot of money. And so it was easy objectively to make a decision to say, what are we doing? Why would we trade level two, level three stocks when the batting average on them and the follow through on them are not nearly as they are with level one plus stocks? So it was really an easy decision. And it was like what Scott said last night. And when they said it, I got goosebumps, because I say it and teach it all the time. It's kind of like, what is your outcome? Is your outcome to be right, or is your outcome to make money? Because you can be right. I'm going to show you an example where I was right and I didn't make any money, but you can be right and not make money. In fact, lots and lots of traders are right and don't make any money. So you really got to be obviously clear about that outcome. And so it got me thinking that, great minds think alike, because when Scott said that, I was like, dang, I say it all the time too. Okay. Now this next slide is going to be a little bit of resistance because it requires a little bit of work. The next slide, sorry, this one. Successful trading requires work. We must be serious students and serious traders. And I am a serious student. I'm a student every day. It takes a lot of work for me to identify level one plus stocks. Now, thankfully, I'm an early riser, so I mostly do it from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And then it takes me time to continually make the process better for my students in the apprenticeship, but also to make it better and more efficient for me. Because, if I can somehow narrow that 2 hours and get it down to an hour and 45 and then an hour and a half, then that's just freeing up more time for me during the day. And it also takes time to identify when you have a massive edge. And I'm going to kind of segue into that right now. But if you want to be a really good, successful trader, you unfortunately have to be a serious student as well. So this is one of the trades that I'm going to show you. And we call these hybrid books. We do these for 2 reasons. We do these. We do these because it first allows me and other traders to help clearly define what our massive edge is. And then it holds us accountable as to whether or not we did what we said we were supposed to do, because that's like the really important part. So this just happened to be Bros. I'm not going to go through every line here. You can read it. It was actually it was not a day trade, the day of trade. And I'm sorry, it was 11.8, not 11.7. But you can read the rest here. My risk unit is 500. It was core type management. I entered 350 shares at 44.86 with a stop under 43.50. I have the 60-minute rule, which I explain and teach in the apprenticeship. And it ultimately resulted in a trade just under 3,000, or 5.9 reward risk to my risk. So if I'm risking 500, I made almost $3 grand. That's like almost 6 R. Here's the trade blotter. Like I show you that. Now, many of you already know my account number because I have displayed it on many presentations. People always used to say, why do you put your account number up? And I was like, well, it's on my check and I write lots of checks. So like, and in five years of me showing my account number, nobody has ever hacked into my account. But in any event, I forgot to put it on here, but you can see the when I got filled and all of that stuff. Okay. And then I journal, this is what the trade looked like after. So we entered on this day right here, the second day there where the little blue arrow is. And you can see it took 18 days for the trade to work and it traded right up to the target fairly effortlessly. So I show you that just to kind of give you an idea of how in the hybrid apprenticeship we think about taking trades. We start at the top, strong fundamentals, lots of catalysts, or weak fundamentals, weak catalysts, and then maybe potentially a really good sector, and then finding a way in. And this particular strategy here that we use is a topping tail entry. We call it a bullish topping tail. Plus, we had all time frames on our favor, monthly, weekly, daily, and the monthly was kind of exiting out of a rounded bottom, which usually have a pretty significant move after they become a level 1 plus. So that's that. This next one I'm currently in, LW. Entered this trade on 12:30. You can just go ahead and read the thing. It was kind of a weekly 1, 2, 3. Became a level 1 note a little bit earlier, 12:19. So it took till 12:30 for it to really give what I consider to be a high quality entry. So it met all of the criteria for us to want to trade this stock short because it was a level 1 plus short stock idea. Still currently in the trade. This is the trade 12:30, right? 250 shares. And this is what it looked like as the market was opening. So my entry was going to be underneath this blue line and the stop was the red line. And my target is down there, like I said, 57 into 55 area. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a little bit more information about it because LW displayed really weak fundamentals. Now they didn't just display it. They told us they had declining earnings, declining revenue growth, and they missed their expectations. So like fundamentals recently, like the previous quarter, horrible. Then they told the world, not just me or, I just made it up. Like they literally said, hey, our earnings per share was going to be lower in the foreseeable future. And we're going to do less revenue in the foreseeable future, which of course created lots of multiple lowered price targets. So I kind of use like the Rambo quote here. If you're like a big institutional investor and you have this company that's like really super fundamentally damaged and they tell you they're going to be more damaged and you're probably not going to be overly excited to buy it. I mean, John Rambo probably wouldn't even eat LW and he would eat things that would make a billy goat puke. Now that's not to say that there aren't investors out there that will for a big share buy a whole bunch of shares to get like big ownership in it, like a Warren Buffett would type situation would do. We're talking like a kind of like every day, right? Like big institutions aren't going to be like, man, if I could just get long LW, like that's going to be great, right? The company is like losing money. They're doing worse. They're, have all of these negative things that are happening to it. So then I was like, okay, now we got this great level, this horrible level 1 plus short idea. How do we trade it? Well, that's where technical analysis comes in, pattern entry, all of that stuff. It was a monthly downtrend. You can just read all of this stuff. It's really not that important to the presentation, but I wanted to just kind of give you the full thing here. And then this is where it was as of today. So again, the entry, and then here we are today. And I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, anything can happen, but at the moment, it looks like we might be trickling down into our 57, 55, which would be a fairly nice big trade, 7 hours somewhere around there, which would be nice. Okay. Now, the next slide is also going to be controversial. It won't be to Scott and Valerie and Caden and Rebecca and Josh, but it may be to some of you out there. If you want to be successful in trading, it's saying you will do a thing and then actually doing that thing. Here's the challenge though. 90% of traders don't do this. Now, it's not that they don't do it because they don't want to do it, or they don't have the intentions going in saying, I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to do. That's not it at all. I think it's more that traders are so hung up trying to find some like magic indicator, or listening to some guy on Instagram who said he turned $1 into 4 million or something like that, that they don't really actually know what it is that they're supposed to do. So they don't really have defined their massive edge that they can repeat over and over and over again. And so, one of the outcomes for 2025 for sure would be to make sure that you say that you're going to do something and actually do it. Now, you can say, well, I bet you don't do that all the time, Alfonso. And you're right, I don't. I make mistakes too, because I'm human. And so I'm going to show you one where it costs me a lot of money because I made mistakes by being subjective rather than objective when something matched a massive edge. So here was a mistake, user error. And by the way, all trading errors are user error. They're self-generated. There is no other error. The market didn't do it to you. Some market maker didn't do it to you. Scott didn't do it to you. I didn't do it to you. It's just user error. You just made some mistake, and that's okay. We make mistakes. The goal, though, is to try to make as few a mistake as possible. And I hope try to do that with lots of training in my apprenticeship. But ultimately, at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to take a stand and say, enough. I'm not going to make these mistakes. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, whether I want to or not. So in any event, this was a level 1+ stock. You can read up there in a little box. It had all of the strong fundamentals, catalysts. And then it even then provided us the technical analysis. It was a support zone. It had monthly uptrend. And then you can see the very last candle there, that green candle. It was like at support, was trying to go lower. And then it had this engulfing candle that came in with pretty good volume. Pretty good indication that, this is likely going to go higher. Of course, anything can happen. And it had a really high reward to risk. So I was right. It matched my massive edge hybrid trading plan, but I didn't take it. And the reason I didn't take it is because I subjectively looked it up and I was like, VITL. I was like, wait a minute, that's that company that makes like eggs. And I was like, that's, and I just made a story up about it. I'm like, there's no way a company that sells like organic cage-free eggs is going to, go higher. This is just, Alfonso, I know hybrid trading has really, really got a massive edge, but you know what you're talking about. This one's not going to do it. And so I passed on it. And it ended up being right, but I made no money. And I'm going to show you how painful that is. Right. I mean, literally, like, I kept talking in the apprenticeship, like, we should take Vittle, but we shouldn't take Vittle. And why? Well, because they make eggs and all of the subjective things that people do. So this trade right here, about $3,500 that I didn't make. $3,500. Now, again, to some of you might be like $3,500, whatever. I blow my noses with 100s. I don't know where everybody is financially, but for me to like leave $3,500 because I subjectively impose my beliefs on some random environment is absolutely not the way to make consistent money. Type in a 1 if that makes sense, or at least you feel my pain on this trade. And so I'm almost done here, Josh, and then I'm going to turn it over to you because you said 24 minutes and I tried to honor that. Here's a pro tip, and it kind of piggybacks a little bit on what Scott talked about yesterday with his jars. Great minds think alike. Here's a pro tip. You don't reward yourself for a winning trade, and you don't beat yourself up for a losing trade, but rather you reward yourself for taking the right trade. That means the trade that is your objective and proven massive edge. And you take that trade without fear, without hesitation. That's when you know that you're a successful trader. It's not like, oh, that trade didn't work, I got to go figure it all out, or what, no. If you have a massive edge and you implement that massive edge and you do the massive edge, there's going to be a random distribution between wins and losses. It's just the way it works. But that will keep you on track to be disciplined and be consistently profitable. So there's like a little model that I have. I actually have it in my office here. I have it kind of like almost like in a picture frame, but it's kind of like velted or with felt or something like that. And I'm going to read it to you. And this is what makes me a consistent winner, and something that I want you to take a snapshot of. I think you might get the slides if you're VIP, and really make this something that you can utilize for 2025. So make 2025 your best trading year ever. And this is how you can do it. You're a consistent winner because you objectively identify your massive edge. You predefine the risk of every trade. You completely accept the risk or you let the trade go. You act on your massive edge without fear or reservation. You pay yourself as the market makes money available to you. You continually monitor your susceptibility to make errors. And we're human beings, so we will make errors. And all errors are self-generated. And then we understand the absolute necessity of these principles of consistent success, and therefore we never violate them. I promise you that if you have a strategy that has a massive edge, whether it's the hybrid strategy or any other strategy, and you follow this formula right here, and I teach on this in almost daily in my apprenticeship, it is really difficult for you to not have more money in your trading account at the end of the month than you did at the beginning of the month without actually taking it from some other account and putting it in there, but just from trading profits. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate the time. God bless, and I'm going to turn it over to Josh.
So good. If y'all didn't take a screenshot, do it right now. Like, do it. Alfonso has this beautiful thing. I think it was actually his trading partner and buddy that made it for him, and it hangs in his office. It's just spectacular. So, yes, show Alfonso some love with the emojis. I love the emoji thing, by the way. You guys have been on it tonight. Let me grab control of the screen. And if you would give me about 15 minutes, I'd like to explain what this whole apprenticeship experience is at TSU. So, first of all, there's a lot to go through. And I know the question that's on everybody's mind right now. Josh, am I going to be able to afford this? Let me just let the cat out of the bag and say, yes, you'll be able to afford it. In fact, we have specifically designed this year's apprenticeship experience so that less than 1/2 of a trade weekly covers your apprenticeship tuition. For those that are exceptional at math, that's less than 2 trades a month is how we've designed this. 2 trades a month will cover your apprenticeship tuition. So can we just set that aside and let me explain to you exactly how the apprenticeship works? Now, the other question that is probably on your mind is, well, is there an apprenticeship for me? And the answer is yes. If you're a brand new beginner, never looked at a stock, you're like, my gosh, I have no idea what Alfonso just showed me, but it looks super cool, then we have a beginner apprenticeship for you. If you are here and you happen to be managing a $1 billion hedge fund, you know who you are, you sneaky little person, you. By the way, true story. We have had several multi-hundred million, probably upwards of $1 billion fund managers come through here because they want the same edge. Just like Alfonso's blending technical and fundamental analysis, they want to know what we're doing, and Tradesmart has a reputation out there. So I have no doubt in a group this size, we have a fund manager in here, and guess what? I have an apprenticeship for you. Let me introduce you to Scott Landers. We are able and excited to help you wherever you're at. Now, as we look forward, I thought it would be first interesting to do a review of some of last year's statistics. Over 5,000 people registered for one of 13 events that we did, very similar to this summit. 5,000 people. Now, we're not doing 13 events this year. That was crazy. And Rebecca said, amen. We're doing 4 events, and you're in one of them right now. So there's 3 more events that will be coming out in 2025. Of those 5,000 people that registered, 421 achievers took action and decided to train with a mentor at TSU in an apprenticeship. And it was 421. It was supposed to be 400. 21 people snuck in over our limits. We're expanding those limits a little bit this year. I'll tell you more on that in just a second. Of those 421 achievers, 109 people got a funded trading account. They passed their audition, and then statistically, over 212 people that participated in an apprenticeship put cash in their jeans. Not everybody uses the funded trading account. I don't know why. They're stupid and are determined to lose their own money. I please, for the love of everything important in your life, let us give you the trading account, and you can free up $20,000, $30,000 in cash to go do other things with. That's a review of last year. Now, the reason that those 421 people joined an apprenticeship is simple. They wanted to increase their speed of mastery and certainty of success. If you're determined to take longer and be uncertain of whether you're ever going to achieve the outcome, then an apprenticeship is probably not for you. But if you'd like to get there in the next few months and have the certainty of a mentor guiding you all along the way, then I think an apprenticeship is exactly the right fit for you. The way that we design our apprenticeships are with the following 4 ingredients. We have education. Obviously, you've got to get a little book knowledge into you. And the way that you can envision this experience that you're in right now is we have cracked 6 different books, 5 right now. The 6th is coming tomorrow. We've cracked 5 different books and shown you the table of contents. And I know it's a lot, it's overwhelming, and all the questions, and what's a level 1 trade, and what's a higher candle close, lower candle close, and all the questions. God bless you. We want to show you the table of contents so that if you decide to go the route of Sir Searches a lot, you're at least not wandering aimlessly. But when you dive into an apprenticeship, we go into each chapter and we learn all of those vital components. But education alone is not enough. A friend told me this once. I was on a call. I think Chris Beverly was on the call with me. I literally spit my coffee out laughing because I thought it was the funniest thing. He said, "Josh, if all you needed was education, then don't you think librarians would be driving Lamborghinis?" And I was like, huh. It's true. You need more than education to be successful. You need the application of that education, which is why every apprenticeship pairs an application session with a training session. So application is seeing it in real time, seeing it in the stock market, pushing the buttons, doing it alongside your mentor. It's not just book smarts, it's street smarts. That's pretty good. We should copyright that, Chris. Along with the education and the application, you also need a trading account to be successful, obviously, and you need accountability. Alfonso just said it. Yeah, I hesitate to put Alfonso on the air because a lot of the really cool things that I say come from Alfonso. Like, what's easy to do is easy not to do. That's an Alfonsoism. And it's true. I could have eaten an apple today, but I decided to eat the donut. Because what was easy to do is also easy not to do. And you need that accountability in your trading career so that you'll continue to make the next right trade. So here's everything kind of laid out, generally speaking. Every apprenticeship has 10 education sessions, and the goal is to make at least $2,000 a month trading. The minimum goal. Several apprenticeships shoot higher than that. Several students shoot higher than that. Now, I'm going to assume the first month is kind of a wash. You're getting your feet under you, but months 2 and 3, we're aiming for that $2,000 a month cash in your jeans. So I'm going to put a $4,000 value on that. In addition to the 10 education sessions, you also get 10 application sessions. This is where you get to see it in action. I challenge you to go look at any of our competitors out there. I mean, don't leave right now, but after this talk is done, you will not find personal mentorship for a quarter for under $8,000, unless it's trash. I'm going to put an $8,000 value on that. You also get private apprenticeship in a community and the accountability of that community. We literally connect you with the mentor. Most of our instructors use a platform called Discord. It's a goofy name for a platform that allows you to basically text message your teacher, text message other people in the apprenticeship. Valerie overseas, she uses WhatsApp, and that's okay. We forgive her and we still love her because it was her birthday yesterday. Now, in addition to the education, the application, and the apprenticeship community and accountability, every apprenticeship has 3 bonuses that come with it. Generally speaking, here's how you can think of the bonuses. The first one is a time saver. It expedites the timeline to achieving your goal. The second is a personal accelerator. So the first one makes it faster, the second bonus makes it easier, and the last one's usually my favorite. It's a big time confidence booster. Easier, faster, and more certain of success. And then, as we mentioned yesterday, if you stuck around for the funded trading account presentation, when you join an apprenticeship, you get access to the TSU Trader Funding Program. If you come to us off the street and you're like, hey, bro, I want a $20,000 account, we're going to be like, sorry, bro. I don't exactly trust what knowledge you've come in with, so we're going to ask that you go through an apprenticeship. So all of our apprenticeships get access to the Trader Funding Program. You can set up as many trader funded accounts as you want after you join the apprenticeship program. So real quickly, I'm not going to go through this in as much detail as I did yesterday, but here's the guardrails on the funded account. Step number 1, don't lose $300 in a day. Step number 2, don't lose $900 total. Please, if you are losing $300 a day, call Alfonso, call Scott and say, help. Because with a $20,000 account, you should not be losing $300 a day, certainly with any amount of consistency. The next thing is you need to pass an audition. These requirements from our funding partner have just been relaxed to a point that is a no-brainer. All you need to do is make $1,350 in profit with that $20,000 account. I don't know if you're doing the math in your head, but that's 6.7% or just under 3 trades. It's extraordinary. Now, they actually require that you do it over the course of 10 trades. If I were you, I'd take 3 of Alfonso's level 1 trades and then do a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 10 seconds apiece. Boom, 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 knock them out. Now you've got a funded account. The cool thing is, after you're funded, you keep 70% of the profit and the funding partner keeps 30% of the profit. By the way, the guardrails still remain. Once you have a funded account, if you start losing money, $300 a day, $900 total, they're gonna put you in the timeout box. We'll just say it that way. Now, those relax a little bit as the account grows, and there's some nuances, but I don't want to make it confusing. This is the core principles of your funded trading account. So here's it all together: education, application, the community, access to your instructor, the bonuses that make it easier, faster, and more certain of success, and access to the Trader Funding Program. That's optional, but I strongly encourage you to do it. This is easily worth $34,000. We're talking about handing you a $20,000 trading account. That's worth $20,000 of the $34,000 alone right there. But I told you at the beginning of class, 1/2 of a trade per week would cover your apprenticeship tuition. So we're obviously not going to charge $34,000. We've changed this whole thing up. Those of you guys that have participated in apprenticeships before, you're about to do backflips because your life just got a lot less expensive. You were able to save your seat in an apprenticeship for a 100% refundable enrollment fee of $497. What? It's true. $497, you can enroll in the apprenticeship. And I see this as you saying maybe. Like, I see what's going on here, Josh, and I see that you've got the training and the application, all the things, and I'm a little bit nervous if I'm candid right now, but maybe this is the year for me to put $25,000 cash in my jeans. And I want to honor you for saying maybe, so we're going to give you a gift when you say maybe and take that step in enrollment of a Q1 Masterclass series. Every week for the entire first quarter, 12 weeks in a row, there's a masterclass being taught. These are $100 a pop. We're giving you every one of them. And here's the schedule of classes. Starting this Sunday, this week coming up is the first one. Calibrating your indicators with Chris Burgess. Trend lines for entry, candlestick patterns, opening session breakouts, get paid before you buy, Chris Burgess options class. The 5-figure difference, skyscraper volume by Scott Landers. Chart patterns by Caden Hesse. How to raise your R by Alfonso. The quantum trader, also Caden. Mastering trend pullbacks. Mastering market structure by Valerie. Here's the cool thing about these master classes. They're taught by all 6 mentors. Each one has taken 2 classes, so you get a variety of all of the mentors. And this is all for saying maybe. Now here's what the next quarter looks like. The first 2 weeks of the apprenticeship experience, which start next week, I'm calling these the Just Say Maybe week. If you get into week 1, you get into week 2, and you're like, Josh, it's just not the right fit. I mean, Alfonso's making too much money. I think that's a little irresponsible of me to make that much money. I don't think I can afford those taxes. That cracks me up always. You ever get that, Scott? People saying, I'm afraid I'm going to make money because then I'll have to pay taxes on it. My friends, you only pay tax on your earnings. And if you use a funded trading account, it cuts through all the nonsense of wins and losses, and they just W-2 you, or not W-2, they 1099 you at the end of the year. It's super easy. So I'm asking you to just say maybe for the first couple weeks, and if you decide it's not for you, we'll give you no questions asked, 100% refund, and you keep all the 12 master classes that are coming up this quarter as my gift for saying, just say maybe. Now, week 3 is where things get spicy. Wouldn't it be amazing if I gave you a $20,000 trading account? Because this is the 24-hour bonus that I begged everybody to come to yesterday. If you enroll, if you just say maybe, we are giving you a $20,000 trading account free of charge. Now, it's in the 3rd week. That's after the refund period. How does this work, Josh? I may have been born at night, but not last night. We are not in the trading account laundering business. Everybody signs up. Everybody's like, I'll just say maybe, then I'll cancel. I'll take my $20,000 trading account and destroy it because you don't have any mentorship, right? You need to continue on into the apprenticeship. But just saying maybe in the next 24 hours is going to give you that $20,000 trading account. And a $20,000 trading account traded responsibly, hitting those minimum benchmarks I've talked about all week long so far. 1/2 of a trade per week covers your entire apprenticeship tuition. Continuing on, you'll have weeks 4 and 5. Then we take a break because an interesting thing happens. Somebody has an appointment or whatever. They miss a class. They start to fall behind. I see you. We got you. And so I've asked the instructors to take a 1-week break after week 5 and provide a catch-up time. So this is going to look unique. Different instructors will approach it differently, but it might be like a quick makeup session on a Wednesday of that week, saying, hey, let's talk about all 5 classes. We'll summarize them. Maybe it'll be a review session. That's going to be up to each apprenticeship mentor based on what the content of their apprenticeship is. And then we'll finish out the apprenticeship week 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So if you're keeping track, the first step in this process is to just say maybe, and we're going to give you the gifts of the 12 apprenticeship sessions and, or excuse me, the 12 masterclass sessions and the funded trading account. Now that funded trading account disappears tomorrow at this time, 4 minutes from now. Literally a 24-hour bonus. So you're going to come here, somebody, sure as the day is long, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, they're going to email Rebecca, I missed out, I didn't take action, it's not on the website anymore. And Rebecca's going to say, sorry. I love when Alfonso says he's sincere and truthful. And I say it this way, integrity is doing what you say you were going to do. We don't play the game of extending another 24 hours. No. Take action. Just say maybe. It's literally risk-free. I'll give you a refund if it's not the right fit. The second thing is you need to pick what your outcome is for the year ahead. So some of you are sitting here thinking, yes, yes, I'd like to try a quarter of an apprenticeship. And that's great. And you're kind of like this mom saying, I'm not quite so sure, but I'm going to put my toes in the pool and see how this goes before I fully jump in. Others of you are like the daughter. And you're all in. The daughter is fully committed. The mom is interested. The daughter is fully committed. So whether you're the mom or you're the daughter, we have a program for you. Let's talk about the mom. This is the Quickie Quarter, a 3-month apprenticeship experience. You get the 10 education sessions, the 10 application sessions, the accountability in the community, the time saver bonus, the accelerator bonus, and the confidence booster. That's all included. You get all of that. And that's only $730 a month, which is a huge discount from what the previous apprenticeship last year used to be. You're welcome. $730 for each month, 1, 2, 3 months of the apprenticeship. Now that tuition is not due until the end of each month. Well, Josh, are you saying that I'll be able to make enough money to to pay for my tuition with the funded trading account? Here's what I am saying. I think that's a great goal. Now, I don't know how your day started. You may be at the very, 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 very beginning, and you might need 6 or 7 weeks to come up to speed, right? But what I can tell you is we have specifically designed this so less than 2 trades a week with a $20,000 trading account that I'm giving you will more than cover your tuition. Now, some of you are thinking, man, it can't stay this price forever. I better scoop this up before the price goes up. You would be very wise. So if you're committed to an entire year, we want to give you some extra bonuses and discounts. You're going to get weekly education, weekly application all year long. You're going to have consistent accountability and community throughout the entire year. You're going to get all the time saver bonuses, the accelerators, and the confidence boosters each quarter. And in addition to that, we're going to give you a ticket to the TSU annual event. We do these once a year. They're huge. All the instructors present. It's more education focused, less table of contents, more strategy and analysis tools and all that. We're also going to give you, when you commit to a year, a second free funded account. That was a record scratch. You're telling me, Josh, you'll give me a second $20,000 trading account? Why would you do that? Let me explain. We have dug in and done the research with our funding partner, and it turns out, God bless you all, the majority, over 50%, fail their first audition for whatever reason. They get overly enthusiastic, they start it too early, they push the wrong button, their first trade's a loot, like whatever, I don't know. But the majority pass on their second attempt. And so it was heartbreaking to me to think of all these people that tried once and quit, not knowing they were literally inches from gold. So when you commit to a year, we're going to give you that free second account. Now, if you're a quickie quarter person, you can buy your own audition. We'll let you still have access to the program. I'm just not giving it to you. But if you're willing to commit to the whole year, we're willing to give you that second free funded account, because that is the difference that makes the difference. You also get weekly master classes all year long, and you get a 40% discount off that enrollment fee tonight. The Just Say Maybe, that knocks down to $297. It makes it a total no-brainer. And then the go forward tuition is only $680 a month. That's getting awfully darn close to just a trade and a half per month to cover your tuition. Now, a few questions typically come up at this point. Question number 1 is, can I pause my annual apprenticeship? And the answer is yes, you can pause payments a quarter at a time. Now, what this is not designed to do is for you to get all those extra bonuses and the discounts and all those things and then pause on Q2 and disappear forever. But if you've got a vacation or something coming up, or if you happen to find yourself sick or whatever, and you need to pause it, just say, hey, Rebecca, I need to pause this quarter, but I'll be back next quarter. No problem. I have a policy. Nobody loves policy, but here's my policy at Tradesmart. We will do the next right thing. Don't take advantage of us. I've had to have candid conversations with customers at times and invite them to go to our competitors, because they're just jerks and they take advantage of our generosity. But we will do the next right thing. If you've got to pause 2 quarters back to back because there's an emergency in the family, I get that. But what I want you to do is make progress this year. I want this to be the year that you don't just make $25,000, you make $75,000. Yes and amen. Let's do it. Another question we get, can I change teachers? Well, of course you can change teachers. Each quarter is a new quarter. So you can pick whoever you want. You can start with Caden, get some experience there, go to Alfonso or Valerie and pick up some strategies, and then finish out the year with Scott Landers, taking it all to the next level. Also, in the first 2 weeks of any quarter, any new quarter, if you get in an apprenticeship and it's not the right one, we'll let you switch around. If you get in one, you're like, it's just not the right fit for me, no problem. We're happy to help you get into the right apprenticeship for you. Now, what we don't want to do is you get into week like 7, and you're like, hey, I want to change apprenticeships. Well, that doesn't work for anybody. Then you're not finishing what you committed to start, and you're coming in, over halfway through the new apprenticeship. But yes, you can change apprenticeships every quarter. Now, here's all the apprenticeships. I'm going to talk through them in just a second. I know some people, I saw somebody said they need to leave. So let me do this. I want to walk through this together with you. The first step is the just say maybe. Just say maybe. And you do that by going to tradesmart.university. My team's going to put that in the chat pane right now. And let me walk through this with you so you can see exactly how this works. When you go to tradesmart.university, you're going to pull up this page right here, and it summarizes everything we just talked about. The risk-free enrollment has the 12 free weekly master classes. You also apparently get a VIP upgrade. Thank you, TradeSmart team. They threw in another bonus I didn't even know about. I love that. So if you're not already a VIP, congratulations. You'll get all the recordings and the notebooks from this last quarter. And heck, we'll throw it in for the next quarter coming up as well. You get, of course, all the education, the application, the community, the time saver bonus, the accelerator bonus, the confidence booster bonus. Here's your extra annual only bonuses, the annual ticket, event ticket, the free funded account, second account. And then this actually is 40% off. I think the team fixed that, and then I didn't refresh my screen. So sorry. And the 24-hour bonus, sign up before the countdown hits 0 to receive the free $20,000 trading account. So you pick. Do you want to do a quarter? Great, $497. The just say maybe, 100% refundable, and you keep the masterclass bonuses. Or do you want to commit to the whole year? That knocks it down to $297. Your tuition is not due until the end of the month. February 15th, 18th, somewhere around in there. Now, this is how this works. Pay attention. Just say maybe, then our job is to guide you to the right apprenticeship. If you know what that is, and I'm going to go through them all individually here, when you get to this next screen, it's going to say, now's your time to choose the apprenticeship below. You'll put your email in, and then you'll say, do I want to work with Rebecca? Do I want to work with Caden? Do I want to work with Valerie, Alfonso, Chris, Scott Landers? Or check it out, I don't know. And if you click I don't know, then Rebecca is going to reach out and schedule a call with you. You can also scroll to the bottom here and just click schedule a call directly. You cannot break anything on this page. So if you happen to close it or you're just confused and you freak out, hit all the buttons like Elf in the elevator, you can't break it. We'll just reach out to Rebecca, info@tradesmartu.com, or schedule a call with Rebecca down here, and we will get you in the right apprenticeship. This is just designed to make it a little bit easier for us. A lot of you know, because you've done training with Valerie already. You're like, boom, Valerie's my girl. By the way, side note, y'all learned 10 strategies with Valerie last quarter. It's 10 new strategies this quarter. They're not repeating. So if you want to continue with Valerie, great. Go through this process. By the way, it's cheaper than last year. Amen. And you're going to click on Empowered with Valerie. Make sense? Let's go through these apprenticeships and help you decide which one's right for you. So Rebecca, the launch controller. Start Smart. Her apprenticeship is for you if you have never traded before, or if you're a little bit nervous about technology and charts and all that, or if you've tried before and got overwhelmed. Maybe you've taken another course somewhere, even at Tradesmart, and you're like, wow, this is already over my head. Then Start Smart is exactly for you. Now, I can't go through all the bonuses for every apprenticeship because we'd be here forever. But I'm going to highlight kind of my favorites here. And the bonus I'm highlighting for Rebecca is the one that makes it more certain. And I love this. Several of our instructors do it. Rebecca is available for coaching calls. So when you get stuck as the never traded little nervous trader, that sounded demeaning. I didn't mean it that way. Then you just say, hey, Rebecca, I need a coaching call. And she's going to hop on the phone with you. We're going to kind of target 2 or 3 of these. You know, it's not designed to be Rebecca's best friend every day, but you can talk to her every day on Discord, right? It's just the phone calls that are a little bit more cumbersome, but she's happy to do that. She's happy to hop on a Zoom and walk you through wherever you're stuck. If you're interested in foundations of trading, it is a right fit for you if you are new to trading. Now, let me make a distinction here. If you're new and nervous, Start Smart is for you. If you're new and confident, like if you're kind of a self-starter, like I'm all in, Foundations of Trading is for you. This used to be our beginner program, and then we realized, oh wow, people actually need some hand-holding leading up to Foundations of Trading, getting their trading application launched and their charting software and whatnot. So if you're new and confident, Foundations is for you. If you're working still to achieve a 70% win-loss ratio, Foundations is for you. Foundations is a blend of the first three hallmarks of the ultimate trading formula: analyze, strategize, monetize. I couldn't fit them all on the screen, so I had to abbreviate them. It's a mixture of everything. And so with the 10 sessions, what happens is you go through analyze, strategize, monetize, and back to the beginning. Analyze, strategize, monetize, and back to the beginning. Analyze, strategize, monetize, and then there's a 10th wrap-up session where you bring it all together. It really is an extremely powerful program. Now, one of the cool things about Caden, I put 2 bonuses in here for him. He's my son, so all the instructors will probably call me out for favoritism, but it's all right. I'm showing favoritism. But Caden is the only one in the room that has gone out and actually programmed an artificial intelligence application that makes it easier for you. And Caden has decided that everybody who joins his apprenticeship is going to get access to that Deep Sky AI. So if you just want to hit a button, and it brings up all the trades and the analysis to go with it, that's Deep Sky. And in addition to that, Caden also is doing coaching calls with students this quarter as well. Valerie Fox, the master strategist, is leading the Empowered Apprenticeship. She's so amazing. I don't know if she's still here. She said that she was exhausted. It's like 1 a.m. her time right now. But the Empowered Apprenticeship is for you if you're not yet making at least $500 a week. So let's say your win-loss ratio is decent, but you're not putting $500 a week or $2,000 a month cash in your jeans, then you need to work with Valerie and look for some strategies that are going to support you, and not just support you, but are customized for you as well. Last quarter, she did 10. I've been chatting with her. She's thinking about dialing it back to 8, only because it was a little bit overwhelming to go through all 10. So she's going to build in some buffer in there for people to apply and ask questions and all that. But 8 to 10 strategies is what you'll walk away with when you join the Empowered Apprenticeship. And Valerie's bonus that I'm highlighting is the one that makes your success more certain, which is a profit optimization masterclass. This is taught live, and this is helping you make the most of your winning trades to put more cash in your jeans, driving towards that $500 a week minimum with the $20,000 trading account. Now, the man that you heard from today, the myth, the legend, Alfonso Esposito, I call him the architect, and he's leading the hybrid apprenticeship. If you're looking for the very best trade setups, then Alfonso's your guy. If you want some hand holding and somebody that's going to call out trades for you and do some coaching in real time, Alfonso's your guy. Alfonso himself is a world-class coach, probably because he's married to Jane, a world-class coach, and she, all of our wives coaches us at some point in time. But I'm telling you, access to the level of coaching that Alfonso provides would be tens of thousands of dollars, and it's available in the hybrid apprenticeship. If you're desiring to trade between 1 and 4 hours a day, hybrid is for you. Alfonso is the first person I kind of coined as a lifestyle trader, because he was like, bro, I don't want to be in front of my computer all day. That's why he liberated himself from running a trading room, because he didn't want to be in front of his computer all day. So Alfonso trades about 1 to 4 hours a day. 4 is definitely on the high end. I'd say 1 and 2 is on average. And Alfonso's bonus to make your success more certain is the Power Hour, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is an hour leading up to and into the market open, where you're doing trade prep and getting private and group coaching in there. Private, and to the extent that you can send in your challenges, you can send in your trades, and Alfonso will review it together. And I love that, because we can all learn from each other. It takes a certain amount of humility and confidence, but do it. Do the hard things so you can experience the good things. And then lastly, you're going to hear from Chris Burgess tomorrow in our final day of the Ultimate Trading Summit. Chris is our resident options guru, and the Options Accelerator Apprenticeship is for you if you're looking for maximum flexibility. You can make money with options in any market: an up market, a down market, a volatile, crazy market, a consolidating market that's lacking any kind of volatility. There are option strategies available for you. Also, you can be as hands-on or hands-off as you like. Some of you love the thrill of placing the trades, and others of you just say, hey, I want a trade that I can set up and come back to it in 3 weeks, and it's done. It just printed some cash for me. there is extraordinary flexibility with options. Now, one caveat here, I don't have a funded account for options traders, and there probably never will be, because options are so varied in the number that are out there. And I don't want to confuse people if you don't know what options are or how they work. But suffice it to say, options are also leveraged. So you don't need a huge account. I'd say $5,000, maybe $10,000. Unless you want to day trade, then you need 25,000. But you don't need a huge account to trade options, and they offer extraordinary flexibility. And Chris's Burgess that I'm going to highlight is also private coaching. Now, lastly, you heard from Scott yesterday. Scott is our strategic consultant. He is funny. He's been on the call all day long with hedge funds. He popped out of the hedge funds to come teach his VIP session, which was amazing, I heard. And Traction is for you if you've got a little bit of experience. It's not for the newbies, but you don't have to be a pro. And I feel like maybe I've emphasized the fact that Scott is more advanced. That's because sometimes people get so enamored with his results that they jump in and they're like, I don't even know what a stock chart is. And if that's you, this isn't the right fit. But if you've placed a trade before, if you've got some experience with a stock charting platform, if you've got a brokerage set up, then you'll be okay in Traction. If you're stuck and looking for next level results, then Traction's for you. A lot of traders will get to the point where they're making $2,000, $3,000 a month, and then they plateau there. And Tony Robbins says you're either growing or you're dying. And so if you're not growing, well, you're dying. And so if you don't want to die, step into Traction and grow to the next level. This is truly pro level analysis and strategy. It's extraordinary. And Scott's bonus is private coaching. Now I want to clarify, all of the apprenticeships have all three bonuses that make it easier, faster, and success more certain. I'm just highlighting the bonuses that I think you guys are going to really, really love. That's not to diminish from any of the others. So here they all are. Take a screenshot of that if you want. We'll be sending out emails, of course, for you to see. But here's what you need to do tonight. Number one, just say maybe. It's 100% refundable. We're going to give you the 12 master classes and 24 hours only. Legit 24 hours only. Everybody who just says maybe is going to get a free $20,000 trading account. The next thing you need to decide after you just say maybe is, do I want to commit to a quarter or do I want to commit to my best year ever? And it's okay. One thing I forgot to clarify, and I'll say here, if you commit to your best year ever, there's no more enrollment fee until next year. And I may be feeling generous next year and even waive it then for those that want to continue. If you just enroll in the quarter, the downside is you'll have that enrollment fee every single quarter, in addition to missing out on the bonuses and a little bit larger tuition. So it's up to you. Do a quarter, test it out. Sign up for the best year ever. Either one of them, you can cancel within the first 2 weeks. We want to make it risk-free. Here's what the actual quarter looks like. Weeks 1 and 2, just say maybe. You can switch instructors in here if you want to, need to. We're happy to guide you to the right instructor. Week 3, you've got access to the $20,000 trading account. That does not mean you have to start your audition. It just means that you can let us know when you're ready at that point, and we'll be glad to give you the credit for the $20,000 trading account. Week 4 is when your first tuition is due. Week 8 is when your second tuition is due, and then your last tuition is actually on week 12. Those who are annual, you'll continue right into the next quarter. So with that said, I'll take a couple questions here. How am I doing on time? I've got the training on how to improve 1,000%. Are there any questions, team, that I need to answer right now, or can I move into the content and come back?
I would clarify, just for those who are not following the chat, the enrollment fee and then the monthly payment and the two options.
Yep. So the enrollment fee gets you to here. This is your entrance into the apprenticeship. Just say maybe. The enrollment fee is 100% refundable. The enrollment fee is what gives you the bonus of the master classes, and getting that enrollment fee, the just say maybe fee, completed in the next 24 hours gives you the $20,000 trading account. The tuition then for your apprenticeship is due at the end of each month. So it's going to feel like to you, in 4 weeks, there's a tuition payment. In 4 more weeks, there's a tuition payment. And then in 4 final weeks, there's a tuition payment. So we've made this a lot easier compared to years prior where we're like, hey, it's 4 payments of, and it was more expensive back then. No, there's just an enrollment fee, which gives you access to the apprenticeship. And then you decide quarter, annual, whatever I want to do. And we don't charge those tuition fees until the end of each month. Is that more clear, Rebecca?
If you could cover the pricing, so like $497 and then the price after that a month, and $297 and the price after that.
Got it. Let me go back to that slide. I guess I didn't put the price over there. Here you go. Sorry, there's some animations that'll build in here. So if you just do the quarter, after your first month is done, it's $730 for the next 3 months. That's the tuition. If you decide to do the best year ever, you get everything that's included in the quarter, times 4, or times 3, I guess. It continues on through the rest of the year. You get the annual event ticket, you get the second funded account, you get the weekly master classes all year long, you get 40% off your enrollment fee, and it's only $680 a month. Okay? So the reason the first payment is different is because this kicks in right away. If you decide to sign up for the year, it's only a $297 enrollment. If you decide to just do the 1 quarter, it's what, like $497? You can look here. So this is where you make that decision right here, $497 or $297, and then forget about it for the next 4 weeks, and then that's when your first tuition is due. And I'll just bring this slide over. $730 or $680, depending if you go the quarter or the year. I know it's a lot. I'm trying to reduce the price. What we could have just done is said, hey, it's 4 payments of $730, but I'm trying to give a little discount on the front end for the enrollment is what's going on here. And if you do the year, it's a huge discount. So your first payment is just $297. And I think the people that could be confused are the ones that remember last year, because last year, new friends, this used to be $950 times 4 payments. That was how you got into an apprenticeship. This year, it's an enrollment, which is either $497 and $297, and 3 more payments of either $680 or $730. Make sense? So it's significantly cheaper, especially on the front end. I am trying to make this so easy. It literally is a no-brainer. You enroll, if you do a whole year, it's $297. We give you the trading account. We actually give you a second trading account. And then all you need to do is just get a couple trades that are profitable per month, and you're outrunning your tuition. Give me a thumbs up in the Zoom thing if that is making sense to you guys.
Could you pop into the chat and answer some of those questions just before we move on to content?
Paying the enrollment fee the next 24 hours gives you access to a real money $20,000 account. Yes. It gives you access to the audition. Your job is to pass that audition. I'm confused. Are the $497 quarterly and the $297 for annual membership cost per month? No, they're not. It's an enrollment fee, single payment, and then your tuition. I'll put them both on the screen at the same time. Okay? So your enrollment fee, dang it. My computer's glitching. Your enrollment fee on it's still glitching. My drawing tool's not working. And then your monthly tuition. These are only 3 payments. Josh, does each instructor teach the same thing every quarter? No, not always. Sometimes, like Caden will probably repeat his, but Valerie's got 10 different strategies. Alfonso stays consistent. Scott will teach Playbook, and then he'll teach Trader's Toolbox. So he's got 3 that he rotates through. Good question. I mean, Caden, but so many great instructors, I get to pick 1 per quarter. Yes, you can pick 1 different instructor per quarter, if I understood that right, Brenda. Let me know if I'm missing any of these, Rebecca. You can read them off if there's some you want me to answer.
I think Neil asked if you could repeat the ability to pause during the annual option.
Yep. So can you pause your account? Yes. The answer is absolutely. Our goal is for you to make progress. So what I don't want you to do is enroll in Q1 and then pause Q2, 3, and 4. In other words, we would call that a quarterly apprenticeship. But if you enroll in Q1 and then pause Q2, come back in Q3 and then pause in Q4, sure, no problem. Some of you guys have cyclical jobs. You're busy in the summer, but not in the fall. Some of you might be school teachers. You're busy right now, but not in the summer. Like, I get that. So what I would encourage you to do is not pause 2 consecutive quarters. But even that, the policy is we will do the next right thing. So if you tell Rebecca, I mean, we've had this happen. It's tragic, but students are like, hey, I found out I have cancer. I'm going to be taking chemotherapy for the next 2 quarters. Can you work with me? Yes, of course. And we'll pray for you at the same time. Like, does that make sense, Neil? $297 down plus $680 for the 12 months. And it would be at the end of each month. Cool. Okay, keep the questions coming. If you would put them in the questions pane, it's easier for me to keep track of the ones I haven't answered. I'm going to go through and finish up the content so that those that want to leave can leave. But I'm happy to stay here all night. How many are we doing? So we lost about 40 people left. So they got what they needed and took off. The 100 of you guys are waiting for me to show you how to improve your trading by 1,000%. So let's dive on in. Let's assume this is a generalization. I said I would always tell you if it's a true story or a generalization. This is a generalization. Let's assume that you place 10 trades over a specified period of time. This is probably about 2 weeks of trading for most of you. And let's say that your current R value is $250, and that's the amount of money that you're willing to risk on any given trade. Between the difference between where you get into a trade and you got out of a trade should be $250. Let's say on your performance, you've got a 60% win-loss ratio, which means 6 of your trades were winners and 4 of them were losers, for easy math. On your winning trades, you made $1,200 or 0.8 R, if you're familiar with that lingo. If you're not, we teach that in Foundations of Trading. And on your losses, you limited it to 1 R. Good job. This is what you're supposed to do. And 1 R is $1,000. So at the end of this 2-week period of time, your profit would be $200 and your R would be 0.8%. $200 is 0.8% of a $25,000 trading account. That's how that math works. If I just lost you in math, what I want you to see is you made $200. Now, what I'm encouraging you to do is through an apprenticeship, figure out where you want to improve. Maybe you take Valerie or Alfonso's apprenticeship and you learn some new strategies and you find 2 more trades that you could have placed. Maybe you had an aha tonight and you're like, I'm looking for the worst trade that I can go short. I'm asking you to find 2 more trades in this period of time. I'm also asking you to move from a 60% to a 75% win-loss ratio. A great way to do that would be this with the Scott Landers Traction Apprenticeship. 60% is not too shabby, but you need to be up closer to 70 or 75%. We're also going to ask that you decrease your losses by 15% as well. That'll balance out. And I want you to make a half an R more on your winning trades. So if you do that, that means the next cycle, and we're going to keep your losses the same because you're doing a good job managing them to 1 R. If you do that, you'll have 12 trades in the next cycle. Your current R value is $250 because that's not going to have changed much with only a $200 profit this period prior. You now have moved to a 75% win-loss ratio, giving you 9 profitable trades and 3 losing trades. You're now also achieving 1.3 R on your winning trades for $2,925. This is just a half an R, 0.5% of your account improvement. $2,925, $2,925, and your losses are limited to 1 R, which are $750. Add this all up, and at the end of this period, you now have $2,175 or an 8.7 R return. My friends, this is a 1,000% improvement from $200 to $2,100, and all you did was find 2 extra trades, moved your win-loss ratio by 15%, and targeted 0.5% improvement on your winning trades and you managed your losses to the same exact amount. Now, I share this from an empowering perspective, like, holy cow. And I want you to understand, so many people come to me frustrated because they're only breaking even. And I want to celebrate, like, wow, you're breaking even. Do you know that you are literally inches from gold? Because if we can work with you and make these subtle changes, you can go from a $200 profit to a $2,100, almost $2,200 profit. Now, that's the optimist. The pessimist, if you want to go there for a second, says you might be making $2,200 trading, but you get some slippage in just a couple areas and it can go backwards pretty fast. That's why you saw people like Alfonso keeping his trading journal, tracking unforced errors, making sure he's hitting his standards and metrics. And if you start to see slippage, you should have a mentor in your life that you're able to go to and bounce some ideas off from. So I want you to write this down, and we're wrapping up right here. Small improvements add up to big changes. And so my question to you is, what's your plan to improve? And I would contend that this is your plan to improve. With everything that is within me, I encourage you to just say maybe. And I see the chat flying. I think it's like 3 people that are confused about an enrollment fee versus a tuition. Like, friends, this is logical. Just go to a point of logic with me for 1 second. When you enroll in college, there's an enrollment fee, and then you have your monthly tuition. When you enroll in an apprenticeship, there's an enrollment fee, like that pays Rebecca for doing all the processing. And then there is a monthly tuition. And we have designed this so that you have the trading account, you have the education, the application, the accountability. My heart is that you would outrun your tuition. You'd be making more money in your trading account than the tuition. Now, if you don't, you don't. Maybe it takes 4 or 5 months to recoup. But we're here to help every step of the way. I'll go and answer additional questions. I'll stay as long as you guys need. If you guys could put the link in the chat pane, I don't know if everybody has that, or you can scroll up and get it. Content is done for the night. So at this point, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about the apprenticeship or questions on the content as well. So the timing of the apprenticeships are all different. And there's already apparently enough people that get confused over tuition versus an enrollment fee. If I put all the times out, you'd lose your mind. Here's what I'll say to that though. If you can attend live, awesome. If you can't attend live, it's almost more awesome because all of our recordings have speed control, so you can speed it up or slow it down, and every apprenticeship has access to the instructor through either Discord or one of our apprenticeships uses Slack. And so you can message them just like you would in the Zoom webinar and say, hey, what do you mean by this? And then that instructor will message you back. And the instructors are amazing at doing that. So, excuse me, Caden's will probably be in the afternoon. Valerie's is in the morning. Scott has morning and afternoon sessions. There's something for everybody. And if that's critical for you, schedule a call with Rebecca and or email Rebecca and she'll give you the schedule for all the apprenticeships. Great. Pro classes, great question. So again, with a heart to not overwhelm, I didn't go into great detail about this, but every apprenticeship has kind of an inner circle to it. Scott sort of led the charge with this with Traction Pro. Most of his Traction people are in Pro at this point. And so using that as an example, they get 3 turnkey systems and a couple extra sessions per week with Scott. That's totally optional. Some are more expensive than others. Alfonso's turns into live trade calls. So in addition to the power hour, he'll be sending out trade calls. When he's making trades throughout the day, they'll go out. So they're all a little bit unique, and we'll talk about those in the first and second weeks of the apprenticeship. But here's what I'll say. If you're new to apprenticeships, I mean, you can jump into pro, but it can be a little bit of it can be a lot if you're trying to do all the pro sessions and the regular sessions and all that. It really was kind of designed as people that were repeating with an instructor and they wanted to go even deeper. They wanted even closer access to the instructor. Thus, Pro was born. So great question. Dismiss. When can you take the money out? Since you pass the audition, whenever you want. You're restricted to 2 withdrawals per month. So you can do it like on the 1st and the 15th if you want, but you can pull your money out without restriction. And like I said, all they do is not W-2, I keep saying that. They 1099 you at the end of the year. So I think that's so much easier. Any money lost on, tax strategies for traders, which that's insane, by the way. You're going to make up for that difference with lower accounting bills. I remember the first year I handed my trading account to the accountants. That's a tongue twister. And they were like, great, that'll be $5,000 to file your taxes. And I was like, hold up. And like, no, you don't understand. We got to go through every one of these. And I'm like, that's insane. So funded trading accounts simplify your taxes so much. After tomorrow, 7 p.m., the chance to get a funded account goes away for good. No, you have the chance to get a funded account. You just have to pay for your own audition. But once you're in an apprenticeship, now or previously, you have access to the funding trading partner. Makes sense? So you could wait until next week to enroll. And if there's a special circumstance, like, you had a expense that popped up and you don't want to put it on a credit card, which I understand. I mean, it's only $297, so it's not a big expense. Just call us and work. Like, kind of our barometer is if there's an intent to join, then that's good. And if, you got to send the payment in next week, totally cool. Just work with Rebecca. Always do the next right thing. That's the policy. Are the recordings captioned? Great question. Do you remember the answer to that, Rebecca? I don't off the top of my head.
They are not.
They are not captioned.
But I have found, for those of you who are looking for captioning on the recordings, I have found a workaround. It's a tool. So if you want the information on getting that tool and using it, it's free. I use it for my stuff. But anyway, send me an email, info@tradesmartu.com, and I'll send you the info.
Awesome. There's a lot of questions in the chat pane. If you want them answered, I'd put them in the Q&A pane, but I'll kind of scroll through the chat pane here. Honey answered the own question. Does Vimeo will auto-generate captions, but the session recordings are not in Vimeo. They're in our Learning Center platform. The other thing is, like, if that's a challenge, there's a hearing issue there, let us know, and let's see if Rebecca's tool works. And I'm not even opposed to running them through a transcript generator. I know it's not the same as a closed caption, so Rebecca's thing would be better. And also, to Chris's point, we could upload them to Vimeo, which would generate captions as well. So don't let that be the restriction. We will figure that out if that's a need. And I'm sensitive to that. I have a sister with many, many handicaps. Hearing, ironically, is not one of them, but she lost almost all her sight. She's halfway paralyzed from a brain tumor when she was a child. So I have a heart to help anybody. Like, hearing should not be a limit on trading. We had a woman, Linda was her name, and she was restricted to a wheelchair, had so many handicaps. And I think I'm grateful for Zoom, because I may have advised, like, hey, this might not be the right thing for you to trade. And that was back before we had funded trading accounts. So she was putting her own money in. And I met her once and realized, oh my goodness, you're a quadriplegic trading the stock market with this, device that she had. But it gave her connection and it gave her purpose, and she loved it. And Linda Bostian, dear friend of Tradesmart. So yeah, whatever your situation is, we will find a way to work with that. How much are we required to make for the prop firm? There is no minimum requirement to make. There are requirements that you don't lose a bunch of money, but there's no requirement to set a certain profit target. Good question. I could do the classes with the recordings and speed it up, right? I have some experience with technical trading and charting. Yes, you could. Absolutely. And, you know, you might want to try starting out with Scott. I'm telling you, he will blow your mind. And then if you find out that's too advanced, you might want to back off to Alfonso or Valerie. Probably you're a little bit more advanced in the Foundations program. Were you guys talking about the number of hours with Scott? He does over-deliver. Yeah. Oh, good point, David. The 1350 target was just to pass the audition. And, you know, that's a layup. Like, that should be a week of trading. But if it's not, and you're tapping on the door of the 45-day requirement, you just have to renew the audition and continue right where you left off. So it's not a big deal to extend that. My opinion, the first time in any apprenticeship, do the base class. So probably Foundations, unless you're brand new, and then start Smart. But yes, that's good wisdom from Honey. And if you're in the wrong class, we'll move you into the right one. Yep, well said. What other questions do you guys have? I'll walk through this one last time here. So when you come to the site, say maybe, do the enrollment fee. This is 100% refundable. No questions asked. We'll give you the master classes. We'll give you the access to the $20,000 trading account. And then you decide if you want to go quarterly or annually. Once you say maybe, this is where you have the opportunity to pick your instructor on the next screen. If you don't know who your instructor is that you want, click I don't know, and Rebecca will schedule a call with you, and we'll get you all set up. A lot of trades in here. I average 3 to 5 trades a week, so however that many works out to in a year. Barbara, so excited for you. All right. Rebecca, is there anything else that I need to answer? The maybe button is right here. And let me put that back in the chat pane. Let me actually give you the real address here, not that preview. We should change that to just say maybe. There you go. This blue button that says click to sign up, underneath it, it says just say maybe. Kirk, come on. Congratulations, Kirk. And who else was asking the just say maybe button? I love that. Yep, the recording of the webinar will be heading out tomorrow, probably. You're welcome, Tamara. All right. Blessings and favor on each and every one of you. I'm so excited for those of you that are saying maybe. Maybe this is the year that we'll make $25,000 and put cash in our jeans. I truly pray, and I don't mean that metaphorically. I pray for you guys that you will take this information and put fat stacks of cash in your jeans. If we can serve you, email us info@tradesmartu.com. I'll leave this open. If we need to answer any questions via chat, we will. If we need to hop on a call with you, we will. We want to be crystal clear. We want to do the next right thing. We want to see you be successful in 2025. Blessings, my friends. We'll see you soon. Take care.